ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UK League Championship. My name is JK Praying Matthews. I'm subbing out, but we're still joined by Dan Orks Harrison in our third game of this best of 5 between Fnatic, Rising, and Diabolus. And Fnatic, one game away from taking this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, they've just been dominating so far. I mean, we've seen reverse sweeps before.
We have.
We've seen it get very close. So I'm hoping that Diabolus will have a series to bring. I think I've given a lot of criticisms to the draft. I think if they change that up, we've known this team to have life. We just need to see them bounce back, because right now Fnatic are crushing, and at least that's good omen for them going into EU Masters, because I think they'll put up a good fight there. But I want a series here and now.
I actually want to get confirmation on what side the teams are on, because Diabolus did have side selection in this game. Fnatic have had blue side in the first 2 games. Maybe Diabolus go, okay, we want red side, but let's try and force that off from Fnatic, because blue side they've been looking so potent.
Well, you haven't won on red side twice in a row. I think if it is broken, try and fix it. So just change it, see if it makes it better. Maybe, maybe not. But right now, it just feels like, well, you know, they definitely can't win on red side.
Yeah.
Yet. So but they just need one game to get going, to get some momentum back, and you can easily turn a series round. But right now, it feels like completely in Fnatic's control.
Okay, so Diabolus are on blue side and Fnatic is on the red side. So
they did as we guessed.
Being denied.
Yeah, they chose to switch it, which makes a lot of sense.
Okay, well, hopefully once we get into picks and bans, we see what the adaptation is here for Diabolus. Now that they're on this blue side, what are they looking to take away? What are the bans?
Don't pick Vayne Rakan bot lane.
Yep.
Pick something that's strong for your bot lane and that can do some damage on. Don't just pick Jarvan, because that's all they've done, and the Rek'Sai is a great matchup into it.
Well, we're into picks and bans for our third game of this series.
Maybe ban away
Diabolus need to make this one count, otherwise they are done, and they have got themselves second place here.
They have brought in Prosper into the support role,
Ooh.
so made a little change there. I think that makes sense. Prosper has been with them for the whole season. You're 2-0 up.
Yeah, it would be a little bit.
It's a bit disrespectful to bring them.
I was talking, though, backstage to people and going, I don't know if you do bring Prosper in. They've had 2 really dominant games with Targaryen. And you could argue he's definitely not been... Well, I mean, he's not been bad, but he's not been the sole reason they've won their games. But he's been confident in the games. He's looked comfortable with the team. It's been a good start for them. But they do opt to bring in Prosper, the player they've been playing the whole season with.
I respect the decision, because I feel like it would be pretty harsh on Prosper not to bring him after he's fought for the whole season. Targamas has done great, but Prosper's now had a chance to sit out and go, right, what have they done here? What have they struggled with? And it may have even been a strategy where they wanted Targamas on red side and Targamas on blue side, Prosper on red side. Probably not at all.
I mean, it could be a chance.
But it could be. Right now, very quickly through bans, Fnatic going the same bans as they had on blue side and red side.
Yeah.
Quite a change up from Diabolus. They're banning the Vayne away themselves, so thankfully we won't see Vayne Rakan again. Lissandra and Sylas down. Lucian's still available, Braum's still available, Jarvan's still available. They're going to go potentially with some kind of Fnatic who can go for that first pick Braum. So I like it. They've changed things up.
They finally changed things up. I do want to note that the Sylas was banned away from red side, from Diabolus.
It was
on the blue side.
Yeah, they banned it on red side.
But they normally, it's typically we see it as a red side ban.
No, they banned it on red side every game so far.
That's what I'm saying. But now they're banning it on blue side. So maybe it's showing that Krogston doesn't actually play this champion. And what you normally see as a red side ban, they're having to ban because they don't want Fnatic to get their hands on it.
And Fnatic do what I feel Diabolus should have done game 1. They pick the Lucian so you don't get the Lucian Braum. It makes a lot of sense. So they're going to have to go for something else. But it does deny that total strong bot lane. And now it goes over to what else they want to pick. Do they want to prioritize something for Magic Felix? I think a jungler for Dan would be pretty good as well. But
I really, really want to see the Rek'Sai from Dan. Dan has looked so good on that champion.
I don't like it this early. I think you can save it for third pick.
Yeah,
support makes a lot of sense. You know what is coming from the Braum. Rakan with a Lucian, that's a much better lane than with the Vayne.
Yes.
You know, it's a lot safer.
And it's not into a Lucian Braum, which is even more useful. But let's see what Diabolus decide to pick up here. They've got their hands on the Braum now. Now they're looking towards probably an AD carry of their own and either a jungler maybe.
I like the
Expecting
Kai'Sa. I like the Kai'Sa. It's one that Uses constantly gone back to, has better trading power in the lane, but also scales fairly well, and that two item spike's going to be big.
Nice, kind of a fairly nice synergy with the Braum as well, because you both have multiple things stacking up at once, and suddenly, bam, a big chunk of your health bar's gone, and you're stunned.
Now it comes down to, I think it's likely Diabolus go for the jungler. I don't want to see the Jarvan again, but looks like they're going to go for it again. And the thing is, if you're not threatening to flex it, I'm not too scared. And now I expect Fnatic just to go for that Rek'Sai once again. There's no reason not to. You've seen that the Jarvans come out. You've seen that consistently you've won out against the Jarvan on the back of the Rek'Sai. So there's a potential they pick a mid laner for Magic Felix and then ban away counters, but, you know, if it ain't broke...
Why fix it? Let's go. So, Fnatic lock themselves in the Rek'Sai as their last jungle pick here. Now we're into ban phase 2. This is where it gets exciting. We're probably going to see a little bit of focus towards those mid laners, maybe the top laners. Neither's locked in at this point. The question for me is, who gets counterpick? Is it going to be Shikari? Is it going to be Magic Felix? Typically, when on red side, Fnatic gives Shikari the counterpick.
Yeah, but I think it depends on what's available. I think Diabolus is going to ban Corki Kennen. That seems very obvious to be their rotations. Right now, Fnatic have so far targeted that Cassiopeia away from Krogston, and then the Kale as well, so no potential for Kerberos to bring that. I expect the Kennen here, absolutely, without a doubt. And then it comes down to, do they want to go for a blind top lane, or do they want to go for that counterpick for Magic, and go for that counterpick for Magic Felix? Or is it the other way around? And it feels like Kerberos hasn't really offered too much with his picks this game, so maybe it's just Cho'Gath, so maybe you can pick something safe for Shikari. He seems unfazed, whatever he plays. It seems like he can just play whatever and he's fine in any matchup, so I'd be okay with blinding here, but it depends. Is there something powerful you want to give Magic Felix? Is there something you think he can carry on? And to be honest, looking at what's been banned away, which is the Corki and the Sandra and the Silas, I don't think there's a ton I really credit to him, but then that makes me forget about the Zoe, so this is often banned away from Magic Felix, although we haven't seen him play it. Very low win rate, but I think that's deceiving. Yeah,
that is very, I was about to say, it's very deceiving, actually. A lot of the Zoes we've had have been crushing here, but kind of been let down from the sides. This Fnatic team do not look like they've been let down from the side lanes at all in any of these games. They've been, every lane has been firing on all cylinders. They've been playing up like a well-oiled machine. Now they're bringing Prosper back in, who's been playing with them for the whole season. You expect them to be running as efficiently as possible, but we're going to see Krogston get his hands on the Syndra.
Syndra's a good matchup in the Zoe, makes a lot of sense, and now it comes over to their final pick. I feel like you can just put the Jarvan top and take something good for Monkeys, because if you take Jarvan in the Rek'Sai again, I think I'm just going to scream. It's not been working. Dan has been dominating that matchup. If you pick it 3 times in a row and it didn't work the first 2 times, it's not going to work again, and they instead go for the Scion, which... I like it a bit better than the Cho'Gath right now because it has a bit more engaged potential, especially under something like a Zoe that you can pin down. But once again, we have Jarvan into Rek'Sai, which Monkeys has lost 3 games in a row.
2 games.
2 games in a row. Well,
unless you're making predictions. Unless you're making predictions here.
I mean,
let's see what Fnatic round they comp out with here. What does Shikari decide to go for?
Cho'Gath is a great pick here because he's very good at dealing with the Scion. You can interrupt it, but instead going to opt towards that Poppy. Good for interrupting the combo from the Jarvan.
And also stops Yusa from sliding into the backline as well with the killer instincts and just looking to assassinate someone like Matty or Magic Felix.
You have to pick your window, because if you try and fly across, you can just hit the wall and just get stopped. So Poppy is a confident pick for Shikari, and you know, a bit more for a balanced team comp on either side. It feels like before we had very much scaling from Diabolus, so I do like that they have brought a bit more into the early game. Yeah. It does feel like they're going to offer some more fight early, but it's one thing to draft it, it's another thing to play it. And they have to deliver, because this is the last game for them if they lose.
It really is do or die. I say this is my kind of trigger phase at the moment, do or die, but for Diabolus, if they lose this game here, they are 2nd in the UKLC, and they were so close. They're not done yet, though. They need to find a reverse sweep versus Fnatic Rising. This is Fnatic Rising in possibly the best form we've seen them all tournament long.
Yeah, absolutely. They've just gone from strength to strength, and now they look very dominating. But even Titans can bleed, and I think Diabolus, they've shown before that they can bring it to these LEC sister teams, and I think they definitely have at least a game in them. So I'm looking forward to this being the one. I like that they've drafted some more life into their composition, not just let's just sit back, chill, and hope they let us get to 35 minutes, because it didn't really work. And I want to see them be aggressive, because one thing that can really happen is that, two things can happen. When you get into this position of series in the game 3, I've experienced this personally, you either go, oh god, they're crushing us already, we can't do anything, let's play really safe. That is a mistake. The second one is you go, look, we're 2-0 down. It's all or nothing now. We need to play aggressive and make this game ours. And I hope they do the second.
Everything is on the line here for Diabolus as they are 2 down versus Fnatic Rising. But Fnatic, they look to tie this series out in a 3-0 stomp as we head on to Summon's Rift for our 3rd game of this best of 5.
I just want to see them come out, be aggressive, and look for these plays, because if you play passive, Fnatic will crush you. They've done it again and again. You have nothing to lose at this point. You're 2-0 down. The series is in a dire strait. You might as well go all in on this 3rd game and try and get some momentum, because if they start to fall behind in this one, I think it's going to be rough to find a comeback.
Lots of corrupting potions in this game. It's a corrupted game.
Very, and I like to see that Yusuf now want to pick that he doesn't have to take Doran Shield in the laning phase.
Yep.
He
That's
actually
also
will
nice.
look to trade. Prosper has a bit more space in this lane. When I was talking about the Braum Lucian, you get stunned very quickly when you go in. Into a Xayah Braum, you have a lot more time. You can use your grand entrance and then dash back out. So a lot more space to actually engage in this matchup.
Dan's going to start over at the Wolves. Can do that fairly easy with his Q. Monkey is starting up on the blue side, so junglers on the opposite side of the map from each other for the moment.
Ping's gone out. I think they're aware there's a ward at the top Scuttle Crab. There is a ward at the Raptors of Dan, so they will be aware of him moving towards this red, I think. Actually, no, he's taking a slow route round, so they don't actually know where he is. That's pretty smart moves. So he's completely missed out on that ward.
Oof. What I do want to kind of keep track of here is, well, not keep track of, but talk about here is the keystone starts for some of these players in this game. Once again, Dan opting into the Halo Blades. With the Syndra, we've seen a few different things across the season. I've seen Meteor. The most common one really has been Airy, but we're seeing Krogson actually going for the Electrocute. I love the Electrocute. It's an aggressive rune. If you can find a combo off on Syndra, you do so much burst damage.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of burst added to it. Magic Felix has gone for the more consistent Airy. And then we're interested to see the Fleet Footwork coming out from Yusa. I think it makes sense. The other option is press the attack, but Fleet Footwork synergizes really nice with the Storm Razor. And also, it gives you some extra help in the laning phase, which is crucially where Yusa struggled so far.
Well, Dan, looking to come over. That's going to be the Decimating Smash already used. He's stepping up. That tunnel's available. Shikari just gets a minion to taxi him in. The knock-up by Dan. And Fnatic are looking for first blood. The shield from Curb is big, but not big enough. Shikari finds the kill.
And this is the issue. Oh, that's a new Shikari emote we've never seen before.
Yeah, I was literally having this conversation. They were like, yeah, just use the Shikari second one. I was like, he doesn't have a second one. He only has the Love Heart one. No, he has a thumbs up one as well.
I feel like this is what we unlock in the finals.
Yeah.
This has been the real treat for us.
Shikari goes from Love Hearts to thumbs up. You know he's angry.
It's a completely different Dan, playing so much more aggressive, no longer just power farming. And this is the benefit from him dodging that ward. Diabolus didn't think that Dan would be topside. They thought he was on his bottom side. And so they end up getting the punish. Hado goes quite aggressive here and gets punished. But it will just be a heavy trade, nothing more than that. But yeah, so, I mean, Dan's unpredictable pathing leads to a pretty easy gank on this Scion. So already going pretty good, and this is the start that Fnatic want.
It's Maddie. Throws out the W. Just going for a trade. That knock-up is available to Prosper, but does need to be very careful because concussive blows can stack up a little bit faster than you expect.
I think one big advantage is the fact that Fnatic have heal ignite and Diabolus have teleport heals. So the all-in pressure is weakened drastically because heal's going to have full effectiveness if Mighty uses it. There's no ignite to shut down that healing and also the extra damage. So I feel like Prospect can play pretty aggressive in the situation as long as the enemy jungler's not there. And right now he's showing up top, so I think he's pretty safe. I think Shikari's definitely aware of where he was because he backed off drastically.
Watch Dan's pathing here. Gets over the wall, avoids the ward. He does not have flash, but he has the flank. He's waiting for that next tunnel to come off cooldown. Going to be a little bit of a while, so now he's pulling the trigger. Throws out the Prey Seeker. Prosper's going to step away and decide not to quite go for it yet.
I think this is one big difference because Dan has gone so heavy on ganking. He's gone behind the levels, doesn't have that flash. And he was very concerned about going in there when Mighty and Prosper were so far behind. So Mighty and Prosper did great acting. They didn't move at all when Dan showed up. The issue is they also didn't get into position. So there's the pros and cons.
Maybe it wasn't acting. Maybe it was real life.
Well, I think there's pros and cons to it. If you stay really far back, you're not going to spook Yusa and Hado. But at the same time, it means you're not in position to punish. And Hado and Yusa could just walk out. And now Krogson and Monk is taking some time to make moves around the river, establishing vision. And already this has been a better Diabolus. The only thing that's been a bit unfortunate is Kyrus in his top lane struggling against Shikari after that first kill.
He's having a really rough go of it. Magic Felix does need to be a little bit careful. Stun doesn't quite connect though, so he should be fine. Now hitting that level 6 mark with the portal jump to look to start to play from a bit of a range.
This is where they get so much threat from the Zoe. The portal jump means you can extend the paddle star range. And Krogson, without his level 6 still, isn't really able to do much in return.
Does need to be careful. Jumps in. Already used that portal jump. Drowsy comes out. Monk is holding fire. That's going to be the stun. Prospect's closing the gap, and it looks like Magic Felix will go down. Prospect comes over a shield. Croxon's ignited. Magic Felix holds his life, and the heal will be enough to save him. Watch Magic Felix though as he's got that flash. He's now got the heal. The Spell Thief is doing so much damage. Magic Felix jumps in. 1v2. Still got a heal to keep himself alive at the moment though. He's going to jump in and out. That cooldown's on. The heal's up. The knockout comes down, and Monk is running away. It's a double kill to Magic Felix!
And he shows how good he is on this Zoe. Flawless play. And like I said, Croxon going for this fight without his level 6, the difference was huge. An ult there from Syndra would have killed Magic Felix, and that entire tier of play would not have been able to happen. But instead, Prospect comes in, the Guardian and Shield from Rakan comes in clutch to save Magic Felix. And the end result is a massive win over the Fnatic.
It's the worst feeling in the world. When you use all your summoner spells to escape the Zoe combo and she's just picking them up and throwing them back at you.
Absolutely. You know, Magic Felix getting fed already on the Zoe. In a pretty good position. Dan's flash coming up soon, so you could look to punish that flash with Syndra. Not a good position to be in if you're Croxon.
Oh, jumps in, throws down the Drowsy. Can jump. Magic Felix, no, sorry, Dan, no flash. Drowsy will break, but they find themselves a knockup going a little bit wide. Scatter the weak. Going to be held for the moment. That's the unleashed power into Dan. He gets taken out. Paddle Star goes wide. Croxon should go down here, as the more sparkles is enough for Magic Felix.
Dan just went too far. Wasn't level 6 yet. Honestly, a bit disrespectful of the Syndra's damage. That's the difference between having the level 6 on the Syndra. You can do that. You can just kill people, and Dan does fall. But Magic Felix picks up another kill, and now he's sitting pretty in the mid lane.
You can see Shikari's actually jumped in, got himself the stun, knocks him up with the ulti. Might just chase for the buckler. Good prediction of him going over the flag. Monk has hit 6, but he's going to go down as Prospect slaps him with some feathers.
Prospect's playing very well this game. He understands. He's been out for 2. He wants to make his presence known. These roams from him have been stellar. Saves Magic Felix and turns on the previous play, and just there turns up to help facilitate Shikari. But got to give credit to him as well. Shikari makes the moves down, and this is the power of that Poppy when there's a Jarvan on the table. Knocked him in the wall. The W meant he couldn't use his combo for such a long time, and the follow-up was so easy.
You can see Prospect hungry for this third game, hungry for his third title here in the UKLC, well, in the UK. Shikari going for his 4th in a row.
A pretty big achievement for those players individually, and also the Fnatic roster. Fnatic Rising's debut in the UK scene, and to be this close to a championship already, just complete success.
But it's not over yet. Diabolus are down 2,500 gold to Fnatic at the moment. Using now that BF sword with the shard.
In the wings.
Monk is, yeah, like you said, in that wings. Xmaddy does have his flash and heal. Prospect with the quickness, making that dive fairly risky.
You know what's risky? Going up against the Zoe with 6 stacks on Dark Seal and those Merc Treads as an advantage. It's really hard for Croxon to do anything because the stun, it lasts less time. The Zoe can constantly threaten all-ins. Oh, look, Magic Felix now has Ignite. As if things went bad enough already.
I actually want to know where he got Ignite from earlier. Because in that fight where he got the kill onto Croxon, he ignited randomly.
He must have found it from a minion because there's no one on the side
but
of the
he had Smite when he walked into River. That's why I was so confused.
Yeah. Weird.
He must have picked it up. It must have faded away. I must have been silly. But it looks like for now, Xmaddy is a little low on mana. This does mean any kind of like fighting and extended trades are going to be a little bit harder for him. As you can see, Monk is recognizing this, rotating up. The vision is all blue around this point of the map here for Diabolus. And Monk is still a little bit threatened by that quickness, by the flash, ignite, the heal. As the culling comes out from Xmaddy, just putting some damage in. You can see Curb's even rotated down. He's got that unstoppable onslaught available, but not going to go for it. He's just forced to teleport back up.
Which is, I mean, a massive loss, the fact that you come bot, do nothing, then teleport away. And this now means that Shikari, in a bit of time, is going to have that TP advantage. Fnatic will move into that Rift Herald, and once that's off the table, you're pretty free as Shikari to make the TP down. Sam's not exactly going to push the tower very fast. And then Diabolus are playing 4v5 on the map.
Third Rift Herald in this series spawns, and third Rift Herald for Fnatic to take. You can at least say that Diabolus has done a good job of controlling these early Drakes in these games. As you can see, once again, they rotate members to this bot lane. Just looking to get some plates up. Fnatic play with pure respect.
I like the priority, though, is in the previous games, Monkeys would have just taken Dragon there. Here, he's like, look, a Cloud Dragon is not going to do much here, but unfortunately, them making that move means Rift Herald's going to get spawned up in the mid lane. Going to be at least 2 Platons going down here.
Yeah, all over to Magic Felix. Gets himself the Ghost, so he's feeling pretty comfortable as he lobs a bubble over the wall. Not going to find its mark, though. Kerberos actually might just be taking a little bit of damage. That ulti is available to Dan, but he's not going to go for it.
Would be a bold one to go for an ulti there, but does force Kerberos away. And now Shikari getting 3 plates of that top tower. So Fnatic, again, just finding these massive advantages. 12 minutes in, there's already a 3.5k gold lead.
He gets a Ghost, picks it up, uses it, gets a Ghost, picks it up, uses it, and then gets another Ghost. He's had 3 Ghosts in a row.
It seems very weird, though, because I'm not sure if the overlay is performing correctly, because we're not seeing the summoners on the ground.
Was there?
But and then he seems to always have Ghost.
Yeah, it's because he keeps picking them up.
He's had, like, yeah, like, either he just got really lucky with 3 Ghosts in a row, or unlucky, I guess, depends how you argue it. Or, yeah.
I'd quite like a cleanse versus a Syndra. That'd be quite nice.
Yeah.
Get scattered and use insta-cleanse.
I mean, Ignite's just nice for the all-in, because Krogson wants to cleanse the Sleepy Trouble bubble, so the Ignite is free after that.
Kerberos down 2 levels here to Shikari. That Sheen, that Ninja Tabby's been picked up on him. Got the Barmies as well.
Poppy puts out a lot of damage for a tank. There's actually a lot of burst damage.
Yeah.
Especially on the back of the Sheen and that Buckler. Probably not enough just to solo out Kerberos, but if Shikari joins a team fight with that TP, he can definitely burst one of the squishies. And
I'm really glad that emoji showed up on the
Magic Felix Zoe, yeah. I mean,
square. Are you calling him a square? He's got redemption now. Oh, it was Heart Eyes, apparently.
I mean, he's pretty good as Zoe.
He is pretty good at Zoe. The Monkeys.
Yeah, actually,
that been struggling so hard to find anything this game. As Magic Felix throws out the Drowsy, does land it. Dan looking to try and just get the proc. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that Sleepy Trouble Bubble bonus damage is a ton. And that's the most annoying one for Zoe to get, Redemption.
Oh,
it's the worst because they can Redemption.
I love getting Redemption as Zoe in lane.
You can heal yourself up. You can use it to assist with the fight. It is by far the most frustrating to deal with.
Or one of the Hextech items early. If you get like a Proto Belt or a GLP, like pre-6, pre the time you should have that, it's really annoying.
Yeah.
Because you do so much damage.
I think active items are just strong because everyone's going to have summoners. Everyone has summoners, you know, but active items you should not have this early in the game.
Well, at this point you should. You can see Xmaddy has picked his active item up. That Blade the Ruin King's finished up for him.
Not if you're on Diabolus.
Yeah, but no one's building active items early.
Yeah, but everyone's struggling to build items. You look at the item difference between Magic Felix and Krogson. You have that Lost Chapter boots versus the full Loons and the Merc Treads. And Shikari, you're going to take this tower. That Sheen helping out pretty big. He has Jolt, so there's no real threat of him getting caught up by Kerberos. And it's not a good omen for the game when you have a Poppy just solo taking towers against a Scion. And I mean, look at the CS difference top. Just soak it in.
Yeah, it's big. It's unpleasant here for Kerberos. He's been on tank duty all finals when I think all of his key plays have come from, you know, the likes of his Yorick split pushing. I respect that's been banned away the whole time, but we've seen him on the Vladimir also banned away from him. But when he's on these carries, when he's on someone who's able to do something for the team, Kerb is shines so bright.
I think it's so hard against Shikari because this guy is literally, I mean, this is why he's won 3 times in a row so far, almost 4, coming up to it now if they get this game. He's just like a brick wall in the top lane. It feels like he very rarely lets you apply any pressure to him. And then if you pick...
Krogson might be in for a bit of trouble. Portal jump, flash! Spell Thief's not enough to get the kill. Krogson slivers away.
Yeah, but still showing how confident Magic Felix is to go in for that. And once again, just more and more power. But the one saving grace is the pressure bot lane has meant Diabolus able to pick up a tower then. This is good to see that at least they have some life in the bot lane because the rest of the map isn't doing too hot.
As a redemption on the floor. Yeah. It's hard to see what it is sometimes. They're quite small.
Like how you lean in like an old man, like.
Put my glasses right at the end of my nose. What's this, laddie? Oh, a redemption.
It's faded though, unlucky. Felix, you won't get your hands on that one.
No, it's, that bubble has popped, but I think he's still quite happy. He's worth 850 shutdown. Maddie with... He hasn't even got a lead, but he's worth 154.
That's CS for it.
What is...
The CS bounty.
What is shutdown, man?
Well, it's because it's relative to the enemy team.
Oh, okay.
So because the enemy team's really far behind.
Oh, bubble, that's going to be the culling. The knock-up from Prospere onto 3 members. The Cataclysm's there, but it's a whitewash as Fnatic find themselves a double kill onto Xmani. A knock-up into the Drowsy. They're chasing for more. Yusa gets flashed on. Monkiz is low, and Magic Felix takes him out with the spell thieves. But Shikari, he don't give a damn about your turrets, and Magic Felix doesn't give a damn about your health bar. A double kill on the Zoe, and now Curb might just find himself on the menu. That's DogChamp saying, nice.
Just a slaughter coming out from Fnatic. They run away with the game and
what?
They are here to murder
not Easter. Is that a joke if it's gone over my head? Does that make sense to you?
No.
I need someone to explain that to me. By the way, it's not Easter. Let us know on Twitter if you get that joke, because
I guess maybe they're saying it's not the Easter egg.
Oh.
Which is kind of unfair to the viewers.
That is super unfair. Magic Felix jumps in. Teleport's coming on. It's going to be Shikari. They've actually got him. Magic Felix is running away for the moment, but he's going to go down. Or is he? Portal jumps in and out of the fight, but the shutdown. 1,000 gold to Krogson.
Woohoo! Finally, Diabolus shows some life. They get a big shutdown, but it's still looking pretty dire. Even with that 1,000 gold, they're still 5k down at 18 minutes. That's really crazy to think about. They just got 1,000 gold bounty and they're still 5k gold down. Oh, well, at least it went to Krogson. Can you imagine if Hado or Kerberos got that?
Yeah.
That would not be a fun time.
You can see, if you look at the build for Xmani, he's building towards that Essence Reaver as his next item. He's closing in on it as well. This Drake spawning up the Infernal in 19 seconds. Fnatic would love to get their hands on that. They've got the pressure to do so. They've got the lead to do so.
I think Krogson and Monk is going for a pick here, trying to find them, setting up for the vision. They will get that scuttle, but Fnatic are playing it by the book. They push book, they push mid in, then rotate over to establish vision.
Well, it looks like they're booking themselves a ticket to the European Masters as the culling goes down. Crogson's getting chunked. Magic Felix jumps away at the paddle star, but enough to get himself the kill with the bubble. Honeyfruit to heal up Fnatic, and it looks like their prize will be an Infernal Drake.
Yeah, Monkiz might look for the steal here, but I don't think you're going to win the team fight. 2 levels down on Dan. You've got to be optimistic if you're going to get this one.
Well, Magic Felix has gone to sort out the waves as Curb's getting engaged onto by Xmani. That Blade of the Ruin King doing a lot of damage, and now they're chasing up. Prospere chasing in. Here comes the knock-up, and you can see Monkiz over the wall. Bubble connects, but Drake is still aggro. Magic Felix can't find the paddle start. Prospere gets himself a knock-up. Curb is low. Can he go down? No!
The shield comes in clutch to save him from the ult damage. Kerberos gets knocked back to base. Fnatic will just turn back onto this dragon. Magic Felix is playing interruption. Monkiz, this is not a fun situation to be in. He has to back out. Infernal Dragon goes over to Fnatic. A bit comical with the interaction with the Scion shield, but at the end of the day, Fnatic still very much in control of this game.
Uncharacteristic mistake there by Shikari.
What, it wasn't a mistake, or was it just an outplay from Kerberos, timing the shield to block the ult? Because Shikari's ult would have killed him.
To be fair, yeah, it winds up, so I guess you have a little bit of time.
I mean, at the end of the day, they got what they wanted. Kerberos was out of there, so...
Yeah, more or less, you sent him back to base.
Yeah, yeah, very true. Oh...
That is, like...
I don't know,
we've had so many cannons with you just getting, like... I swear it's painful
to watch. It's painful to watch. It's just, it's so rough.
No, I don't watch any of my games then, mate. I miss plenty of cannons.
Especially when, I mean, I get it in lanes sometimes, but when you're sitting there alone with a wave, no one else is challenging you, and you miss a cannon, it's a bit like,
And And you've also got a completed AD item. Like,
yeah.
like,
I think it shows the pressure, though. There's a lot of pressure on these teams, and mistakes happen a lot more frequently when you're in these pressure situations. Because I guarantee, you put Yusa in like a practice tool, and he'll hit a cannon 99 times out of 100. But you put him into a competitive game where he's 2-0 down against Fnatic, and he's scared about getting jumped on by Fnatic while going for this wave, and suddenly the pressure does make you misplay. And that's what you got to ask is this the pressure for Fnatic isn't there as readily, because think about it, you have these veterans on the roster. Shikari and Prosper have won this more times than I can fit on one hand between them. Matty has played
I like that you showed me your hand for reference, by the way, just in case I forgot how many fingers you had.
Dan played for the old Fnatic Academy back when it was in the Challenger Series, and Magi Felix, I mean, he's had so many accounts in Challenger solo queue, I also can't count that in my hand. It's just, it's such a storied roster. It makes sense that Diabolus are just really struggling with the pressure right now, whereas Fnatic,
Felix,
this is just another Sunday to them.
Magic Felix is squashing people on this Zoe right now. See, Shikari's working away at this tower with that Iceborne Gauntlet, has got that extra bonus sheen damage. And look at the vision control here for Fnatic. Shikari's going to take this turret down, doesn't have teleport, which is key here, so he has to walk back up if they decide to go.
Probably sitting here regretting he didn't go for the Triforce. Because, I mean, Split Push Poppy is real. Well, I know Diabolus on because I think they'd be losing a lot more right now. But Fnatic still got complete control of this game. The vision around Baron is just oppressive.
Well, that area did connect, but Hado blocks it up with the Unbreakable.
Monkish does get away. A lot of damage coming back on Akira.
Oh,
he's the tank! He's the tank, and it hits so much!
I mean, he has no magic resist, but Jesus.
Oh, it's just painful.
I mean, he has a family. Oh, Yusa actually took that, but they're not actually going to commit.
That's Hado got in the back end. They will see them doing the Baron. This is the one miracle way back in the game.
Goes in. Oh, Monkeys loses half his HP. Sleepy Bubble Trouble does connect, and Magic Felix is 1v3ing Diabolus right now. Monkeys takes the culling, and Magic Felix flashes in for the kill. Back-to-back business, though, for Fnatic. They are going to be able to pick up this Baron Nashor. 23 minutes on the clock, and Fnatic are annihilating Diabolus in this best-of-3.
This is complete destruction, and I know people don't always want to say like a team plays like this in scrims, they'll play great, but I was actually talking to Bloomigan, the coach for Rogue's Academy team in the Ultra Liga, and they're a pretty strong roster. A lot of people hyping them up as one of the favorites for EU Masters. They said that out of the other LEC sisters teams from all the regions, they only scrim one team. Only one team do they rank as good enough in scrim performances, and that's Fnatic Rising. So. And then he asked, how come they're not performing in the UK to that level? And he said, well, I guess they're just choking on stage, but it feels like Fnatic have found their footing, and this is the sort of level they were delivering in scrims, but not on stage, and now they're finally bringing it in arguably one of the most important matches in the finals.
I mean, arguably one of the most important weeks, as they are so close to the European Masters as well.
Absolutely.
At least guaranteed play-ins. If they win this game, they get group stages, which means they get an extra week to prep, an extra week to sort out, especially with Hogamus joining in so recently and their new ADC. They have a lot of time to get themselves set.
Mid laner.
New mid laner, sorry.
Yeah.
Mid laner, not AD.
Ronaldo is the other mid. We expected we won't see him as much as Magi Felix. Magi Felix is pretty storied on this roster, whereas Crossfair and Targamas both have a ton of competitive XP. Ronaldo's pretty fresh from solo queue. Crogston has to use a stopwatch there. They might look for an engage, but...
I love them. Here comes
for
Diabolus. The Drowsy's already on. The Cataclysm's in. One kill, but a great ultimate out to secure the fight. As X-Matty slides into the fight. A double kill for him, and everybody's running low. The unleashed power, the scatter the wind by Crogston to buy time. But Curb is going to get headbutted in, and in comes Dan. A double kill for Shikari, and 4 members for Fnatic.
They got a shutdown. Crogston needs to play the Miracle Defense, but it's still going very favored Fnatic. 10k gold lead in the Baron coming in as well. It looks like Fnatic don't rate their chances of ending the game here, but with an Infernal available and the Baron still up, they're in a pretty solid position. Actually, they're going to take the wave. They were just picking it up, and Shikari got a TP in, so even with people spawning, they want to get this inhibitor before they go for that dragon.
Makes sense. Want to just get some pressure on the map. They don't want to play this by the book. Because they're not going to go for the inhib, just the turret for now and step away.
Playing it safe. It's the one way you throw the game is by overcommitting. So they are going to reserve the pressure a bit more. Just saw Crogston miss another cannon minion off the side. I don't know how he always catches
Fnatic Death Brush. It's the Fnatic Death Brush. Diabolus are going to be punished. And Monkeys forced to go golden for the moment. Curb is on that flank though. Magic Felix is not in the fight. Yusa throws out the Void Seeker. Can jump in with a killer instinct, but he steps away. Magic Felix with a paddle star onto one. The bubbles landed onto Curb. They're going for more damage. And oh my lord! Half his HP is just deleted by Fnatic. Magic Felix throwing bubbles and stars and everything he can into Diabolus' face.
We didn't get a chance to see Magic Felix go before this, I believe. I think it was always respect banned away from him. And I think Diabolus decided to see what would happen when they left it open. Now we know why it was banned all those times.
Oh no! Shikari in between towers, soloing out Monkeys.
I mean, you said the line last time. I'll say it this time. Hate to say it, but Fnatic are smurfing right now.
All right, Fnatic, you need to put it on Twitter and quote me, Hip Brain.
They will start to push the bot lane, and at this point, really hoping for a miracle here from Diabolus, but I don't think there's a ton they can do. Look at that damage!
Oh! Magic Felix is actually straight up 1v9ing this game.
His damage
popping off.
is just absurd.
He's got the Death Cap, he's got the Ludens, he's got the Oblivion Orb, he's got a Fiendish Codex so he can jump as much as possible.
A full Dark Seal, you know, he has so much AP. And the thing is,
get the Medjais.
We saw what happened in the last fight when they did manage to kill him. They still lost because you still have this 406 Lucian. You still have this unkillable Poppy. Even if they kill Magic Felix, they don't win. But with Magic Felix up, they just have no hope.
Yeah, I feel like 1v9 was actually a little bit of an unfair statement. All of Fnatic are playing incredible, but and you I want to see damage post-game. I really want to see damage post-game here, because I feel Magic Felix probably has double anyone in this game at this point.
Absolutely would make sense. And you got to give credit to Crossfair in this situation. Coming in, gets subbed in, and it doesn't feel like Fnatic has changed at all. They still feel just as solid as they did in the first few games.
This is a good rotation here by Diabolus, so they pick up the tier 1. Might even get tier 2. They do step away out of respect because they realize Fnatic are just split pushing away, and the more sparkles at this point from Magic Felix is just allowing him to secure these turrets.
We don't tend to see a split push Zoe. We tend to think of it not as the best champ to go on a side lane. I feel like currently Magic Felix can go wherever he wants. I feel like he is so strong. He can split push. He can go 1v5. He is just so hard to kill. And oh no,
Magic Felix doesn't actually have portal jump. He just used it, so Crogson's fine.
I like how the whole of Diabolus are like, oh god, oh god, oh god. We're going to lose
had
one.
cleanse, to be fair. I think he knew the portal
I think he was aware that he wasn't going to die from that. The portal jump had just been used, but still, it's so scary when that comes down. Because you know, that's what you need. One Sleepy Trouble Bubble and a Paddle Star, and you die.
Well, that's going to be the bubble.
Unbreakable's there, though.
Has got that breakable, but goes in. Half health Shadow, even through the unbreakable.
Not so unbreakable.
Pretty breakable, actually. It's a paper mache shield. Yeah, Fnatic definitely, you can tell they're playing this game knowing that if they lose this, they have to play another game.
Yeah, they want to clean 3-0.
They don't want to give Diabolus any momentum in this game. They think in this series.
The biggest person will want this as well as Prosper. Targetmaster's come in, won those first 2 games. You do not want to lose the 3rd one.
And Prosper, props to him, has had an incredible game. His Rakan has been so clean. He's been always in these big engages, finding multi-man knockups, charming everyone. That's just Prosper's charisma, to be fair. My
matchup to watch this game was Dan against Monkeys, because Monkeys have been really solid so far this tournament, and Dan has just absolutely murdered him. Monkeys has not
had good flash, games. He does have cleanse. They're going to knock him up. The cleanse comes down, but it's not going to do much. Just throws out the culling, and he will melt. Xmadi cuts through him for his 5th kill of the game.
Yeah, I mean, just out of position and a good engage coming out from Fnatic. There's not a ton you can do, and now they'll push on the pace. 2 inhibitors already down. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
Watch this damage! Half HP of Curb.
Considering he's so tanky, it's so scary, and the cooldowns are so short. He has them so frequently.
The Fiendish Codex is doing so much work for him. That's going to be the 2nd inhibitor down. Throws the flash out.
He gets
the Bowsy off. Can he actually get the kills? The question is... Oh, what? Magic Felix, that was so good! And now it looks like Fnatic might just be looking to close this series out here. Kerberos will fall down, and it's only Monkeys to watch as his base, his game, everything is in shatters. Magic Felix gets shut down by Kerber's zombie, but it won't do anything. 21-4, Fnatic are going to 3-0 Diabolus. and crush them. They are your LVP UK champions.
What a performance. There is the roster. Did have the sub from Targamas, so obviously is another one onto that roster. But what a great performance from them coming out. They just crushed Diabolus. And I think Fnatic was somewhat unhappy about waking up at 10 AM 2 days in a row because they wanted to get back to bed as soon as possible. They closed that one out fast. And credit Shikari back to back champion of the UK. And
Prosper as well, he got 3 in a row now.
He's got 3 in a row, but he's overshadowed by Shikari, unfortunately.
I don't think anyone on this roster is overshadowing anyone. I think everybody for Fnatic Rising played incredible today.
True.
Shikari, unbreakable wall. Dan, an absolute beast. Every lane,
he just made
impact. Yes,
he just killed him.
Shut Monkeys out completely. Dan completely deserves this MVP. No in second item Infinity Edge as well, so props to you on that one. I also want to big up Magic Felix. Consistently good, all tournament long to be fair.
I mean,
he's been a solid backbone for this team.
I think he put the fear of Zoe into all of our viewers. That was disgusting.
Now I feel bad for maining Zoe after watching that
You're
game.
the weirdest kind of person.
And you also got to give it to X-Maddie. As an ADC, this man has been one of our strongest here in the UK. Today, again, it's kind of hard to say when you had Dan and Magic Felix doing so much work, but he was always the janitor. He was always perfectly positioned in these team fights. And in Targamas for the first 2 games, apart from the one time where he denied Fnatic from a perfect game by dying once,
yeah,
we'll let that pass because outside of that, played fantastic well. And then Prosper stepping in for game 3.
I mean, it's a fact
huge
that
game.
Sometimes my worry with subs, especially since Targamas was such a late addition, that maybe it indicated they were having problems with Crossfire, or maybe it indicated that, you know, they're not going to have as much time practicing with Targamas. But it felt like it was just an asset to them. They had this interchangeability, and it didn't detriment to their team at all. They played flawlessly throughout the series, and, you know, it was just a stomp.
Hello. How you doing?
I watched that from the sidelines, obviously, being in the control room with the observers, and that was disgusting. I mean, I've never seen Fnatic look better, and I think there was a massive step up for Fnatic over the course of this weekend, but honestly, disappointing from Diabolus too. I was expecting a bit more from them, but you can't take away how well Fnatic played, and I think they deservedly are going to represent us in the EU Masters at the group stages immediately.
I guess it's traditional to the org. Fnatic just get this huge playoff spot. Because you've seen the same thing happen in the LEC with the main team. They hit playoffs, and it's like, oh, we're a new team, we're going to stomp everyone. Fnatic Rising, it's the exact same thing. They haven't had the cleanest split, but boy, have they had the cleanest last week.
Fnatic knew that we wanted a really back and forth season, so they were like, well, we won't just hold the tower the whole time. We'll kind of troll you guys, go back and forth. We're so confident, we'll even give the playoff spot to another team.
I think Diabolus can hold their heads high, though. I think even though that was a rough final series for them, they still have a European Masters play-in spot.
Yep.
And they came out as the top point earners in the regular season, beating out the other LEC sister team of XL.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think you have to think about as well is going back to the point I made in the game about how Bloomberg, the coach for Rogue's LEC sister team, says that, again, they scrim like the highest quality teams because they are one of the strongest European regional league teams.
The Ultra Liga looks really strong, yeah.
They said the only academy team they scrim is Fnatic Rising, and when asked, but they aren't performing that well in the UK, they said they're just choking. And this feels like today, Fnatic didn't choke. I think it's testament to how strong this roster is that they go toe-to-toe with Rogue's roster because the Ultra League looks insane. I think Diabolus shouldn't think of this as they dropped the ball massively. It's more Fnatic were just such a strong team today.
I think they maybe weren't expecting that level from Fnatic coming into this series.
I wasn't expecting that level.
No, I
expected it to be a lot closer.
I predicted them to win.
Yeah.
But
and actually, the marbles are right.
More importantly, the marbles got the correction prediction.
So, I think for Forge of Champions, which will be starting up in 6 weeks, 6
May-ish time.
Yeah. So, for Forge of Champions, I want to hear from you guys over on Twitter. What do you think should be our next prediction method? I was talking about something kind of like Kaplunk style. Do you remember Kaplunk?
Yeah, I remember
That was a great game. So I want to see what you guys at home think. What can we use to predict the next game?
The monkeys that hang on, like the little hanging monkeys that hang up like that.
I think that's kind of like Kaplunk.
That's like Kaplunk.
Kaplunk, so you have the marbles and you pull the things out. Anyway, guys, obviously we have got lots of things coming up here. This is not the end of the UKLC. We're going to have obviously more seasons, and we have got that interim tournament of the Forge of Champions going on. Now, if you want to get involved in Forge of Champions, sign-ups are open. So you can go to the Forge of Champions and sign up to the competition. It is open to anybody to enter.
Yeah, so if you're sitting back here and going, wow, these guys, both these teams look garbage, I could take them both on, you can now put your money where your mouth is and challenge them yourself in the Forge of Champions.
And even if maybe you don't feel like you have what it takes to go against a team like Fnatic Rising, but you just want to have a bit of fun with your friends, it's open for you as well. Anyone is free to come play in the Forge of Champions, so do sign up.
Crucially, the teams that come out at the top of that will have a chance to get promoted into the UKLC next split. So could be one of the teams that we talk about up here.
That's the key thing as well. We've got 2 relegation spots up. It's Bulldogs, is it?
Bulldogs and Darkspawn are the teams that are up for relegation. So it's not even you have to think you can beat Fnatic Rising. If you think that you can beat out those teams, then there's a pretty good shot if you make it into the UKLC for the next split.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Forge of Champions is going to be really cool. We're going to be seeing that in 6 weeks. Obviously, if you're interested to see how the UK does at the European Masters, that will be broadcasting throughout April. Make sure you check out the LOL EU Twitter. They should. And I'm sure LVP UK Twitter will also be tweeting updates about the EU Masters and our team's progressions. And I want all of you at home to make sure you're thoroughly supporting Fnatic and Diabolus going into this, because they are going to have some tough challenges. Every European Regional League has looked insanely strong over the course of the last split. And I think going into European Masters, we really need to get behind our boys and make sure they perform well. So make sure you're cheering for all of our teams that are entering into the European Masters in the upcoming month. And then by the end of April, we'll have a winner.
Well, we actually do have an interview coming up in a minute, so we'll have that in a second. But yeah, I think a big props to both Diabolus and Fnatic for representing the UK, especially Diabolus, because they've been so close every time we've had a UK team has gone forward to represent the UK. And this third time, it worked the charm. They got their spot. Now, I believe there's only 2 teams can make it out of play-in, so they've got a bit of an uphill climb for them. But I mean, I'm going to be cheering for Diabolus. I'm cheering for my Devil Boys. But we have an interview with Prosper from Fnatic. So Prosper, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, you know.
There
We
he
just
is.
won the finals, obviously. Even if I only did play 1 game, but yeah, pretty easy. Best of 5 compared to my last 2.
I mean, when you only play 1 out of a best of 5, it's great. How does it feel to get like such a convincing win over Diabolus? I know you obviously didn't play the first 2, but like to literally get your 3-0, and they were dominating 3-0s.
I mean, I'm just pleased we're finally playing like I know we can as a team. I think from obviously scrims on everything, but I'd say we're like a top 3 national team. For me, I'd say it's like Rogue LDLC and us are better than everyone else, at least if we play our best.
I said that.
And I only think we could probably beat some LEC teams, like some of the lower ones. So playing like this, I think just going forward to moving into being consistent is what we need to look to do. But I think we should be looking to play like this every game at EU Masters.
Which would obviously be a great performance. So obviously we've had the substitution between you and Togmas. How do you feel that has sort of benefited you as a roster? What do you think it offers being able to alternate you two being in the game?
I think initially there wasn't any plans to do this, but one thing that Togmas has done is he worked incredibly hard. I don't think he needed to come to... I don't think he was expected to come to every day of scrims, but even when he wasn't having game time, he came to every single day and he watched all the games. And so he kind of put in a lot of work, and now we're pretty much, I'd say, like, it's 50-50. I think the team is at a similar level with both of us. So I know we're both just looking to kind of challenge each other and play as many games as possible, but it's obviously really good for me to have someone behind me who's so skilled, kind of making sure I'm working hard, because if I slack even a little bit, I know that Togmas is there to kind of step up, and I'm sure he's in the same position. So yeah, I couldn't really ask for anyone better to kind of share a spot with. He's got a great mentality and he's really hardworking.
I hope you can hear me actually, because I don't know whether my microphone is on the same thing.
It is now.
It is now. I hope you can hear me. Obviously, first of all, massive congratulations as well. You are the UK champion. And do you know what's been really awesome for me is to see how much you as a player has grown over the last 2 years. I mean, you've gone from doing sort of, I guess, mid to low level teams to being one of the best players in the entire UK, and it's been really awesome to see that for you. And I'm really sort of proud, I guess, of our UK talent. I want to talk about looking forward, because now that you're the UKLC champion, we're looking forward. You've got the European Masters coming up. How have you felt in terms of your relative strength with the rest of the ERLs? What do you think Fnatic has got going forward into the European Masters?
I mean, as I said before, I think if we play our best, we can win EU Masters. I think we should at least be...
Did he? Oh, wait, I can't hear, obviously.
Oh, can you not hear him? Right.
I think we should at least look to make top 4.
It was a really good
I
question.
think anything less than that is a anything less than that is kind of an underperformance. But I think we could win the whole thing if we play our best. It just kind of depends.
I mean, if they play to this form,
I didn't realize you didn't have an ear because he literally just said us, Rogue, and LKC are like the best three. I'm away from everyone else.
I was trying to lip read. I was looking at him on the screen. I was trying to lip read, but it wasn't working.
and then he got lost in the eyes, right?
Here's my big question for you, Prosper. Well, one, does Shikari need to be nerfed?
Absolutely. I think I read 8.6 and I just see there's nothing to do with Shikari. It was really concerning. I think this patch is really good for us actually. So EU Master should be really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I want to ask, because at the beginning we were, you saying you wanted to show everyone that you actually have a pair of arms. Do you feel that you showed your arms off this tournament?
Well, I think on this team I'm really not of like a main voice like at all. I'm not really someone communicative like. So before this split, for example, I would have said, like when I was on Misfits, I would have said Targamas is like the kind of player that wants to win lane, whereas I'm like a shot caller. And I thought he was better than me anyway, whereas now we fill the exact same role. And I feel like I can kind of match up to him. So I think I've done a really good job of kind of showing that, yeah, because like I don't have any value as like or I have very little value as like a shot caller or a voice on this team. Actually, a lot of what we were kind of learning over the split is that we perform better the less I talk and the more I play as my own player. So there was like a lot of things that I had to learn swapping over from that. It was quite a hard transition, but everyone on the team was really supportive of me changing role and like the struggles I kind of had to go through. And yeah, like I'm glad I got this experience, and I think I've really developed as a player. So I think I did manage to show this.
I think now I can actually hear you. Last question. You're playing with Dan, who I think has been around Challenger as long as I've been alive. He's kind of been a sort of a very long-standing, high-tier jungler. What has he brought to the roster that you feel like maybe you've been missing from previous rosters? He seems like he's been a really good voice of experience for the team.
I think Dan's mindset's really good. Honestly, like I think he's by far the best player on the team, but the way our team works, it revolves around Dan, so I think he gets a lot more room to show it off. Like, I don't think he's necessarily just individually better. But the way our team works is that kind of Dan controls what we're doing and makes the plans. So the game revolves around him. So I think like honestly, like I never have any complaints with Dan. Like he seems to always outpath the enemy jungler. We could scrim Fnatic and I would have no doubt in my mind that he's going to play up to the level or better than Broxer. So I'm not worried with that. He's also like a really great like leadership figure in and out of game. Like he like talks to everyone all the time, making sure that like if they're having any issues, he'll discuss it with them, make sure that like he can help them through it. If there's anything he can say, give his perspective. I just think this guy works really hard in almost every aspect, and he kind of fills every role you could imagine on a team as like a leader and a player.
Plus, he has a great name.
Plus, he does have a great name. Congratulations, Prosper, on your win and taking the first UKLC championship. Also, good luck at the European Masters, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Thanks
We
very
will
much.
see him there, just so you know.
Well, I mean, I'm talking live finals, mate.
Okay,
That's what I
okay,
want to see him in Leicester.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you,
hopefully
Prosper.
we-
You've been
Thank you very
amazing.
much.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So, they had opened the door for me, by the way, so I could hear the
Yeah.
voice echoing through. I didn't actually expect that I'd crossover questions. I was trying to lip read, but never
Well,
mind.
it's just, yeah, because
Getting a double affirmation that they're the best team is great, you know.
Yeah, it's confidence
one of
as
the
well.
best.
said
one of the best
them,
teams.
LDLC, and Rogue are the ones to watch, so should be pretty hypey.
I'm looking forward to that. I really am, and maybe he didn't mention anybody from the Spanish league as well either. So that's
I've been hearing things about that league. I don't think it's quite the dominant force.
I think a
we've
lot
had
of
in
talent
previous
got
years.
drained up to the LEC. You
Splice
know, like,
Vipers has been on the up, though.
they
so-
have, yes. They got the boy XD Smiley plays for Splice Vipers, right? No, is that the other? He's G2.
Yeah, Splice Vipers has Freeze, so...
Oh, okay,
he's pretty
Freeze.
good.
Oh, yeah, Freeze is, yeah,
okay.
experience.
Draven main.
Right, guys, this has been a massive, massive split, and I've really enjoyed every moment of the UKLC over the last 7 weeks or so that we've had together. I don't really know how to round it out. And
There's been whiteboards getting pushed over. There's been whiteboards getting rugby tackled. There's been
whiteboards generally getting thrown around.
Marble races and violence. There's been hype. There's been low points for some teams. There's been high points. It's been great. It's been so fun, and thank you very much for joining us here on this journey here at the UKLC. Now, if you guys do miss us, you can head over to the YouTube LVP UK. And you can catch up on all of the previous games from the tournament, the finals from today, and even our previous Forge of Champions back from last summer. And if you guys want to get in touch about Forge of Champions or just keep your eyes on when everything is starting up, head over to our Twitter at LVP UK. So guys, thank you very much for joining us here at the UKLC, and we'll see you for Forge of Champions.
See you for Forge.